My name is Lee Beeson. I'm a reading interventionist at Dighton Elementary School in Dighton, Massachusetts, and I am a Milken educator. The moment I heard my name, I just thought, no, oh my goodness, first of all, for people to recognize what you're doing. You know, you work for years and years and years in your little bubble of a classroom, not kind of expecting anyone besides the little kids in front of you to care or notice. And to have that be noticed it feels really good deep inside to know that you're making a difference. And then that amount of money also is, I can put that away for my children's college. That is almost a life-changing amount of money right now. So I'm taken aback completely. I think it was my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Zanaboni. She just loved to teach, and I will always remember she wore tons and tons of bracelets up her arms, and whenever somebody did something good, instead of clapping, she'd shake her arms. And I always, as a little kid, wanted to wear all my bracelets like Mrs. Zanaboni so that I could cheer on my kids with my dangling bracelets. And I'm sure she did a lot more to teach my brain too, but the thing that sticks with me is her cheering me on with her dangling bracelets. And I always kind of wanted to be like her. Well, it's my favorite thing in the world. I love teaching kids to read. And I think it's really magical when you can break down what seems like such a daunting task into these simple like codes and tasks and ways to teach children to crack the code, but also ways to teach them to really love to read, to read with purpose. Let's read to learn something. Let's read to enjoy this. And I think it's just it's really a magical job, and I'm very lucky to get to do it. At times it feels like a thankless job. You come in all day long and you grind and you lesson plan at home and you grind at home, and your kids, my kids will say, Mommy works with her friends at school and they know all about what you do at school. And I think it's really nice for educators to feel thanked. Even simple things that the PTO does really helps you feel motivated to continue grinding for kids, because it's our job and we need to teach them to read and to learn and to be people and to be contributing members of our future society. So I think this type of stuff continues to fuel, it feels good in your heart to teach, but it's nice to also have people recognize what you're doing too. So I went to Fordham University for my undergraduate degree and majored in English, and I wasn't really sure yet what I wanted to do with my life. So I stayed in New York City and worked at Bloomberg LP in finance for 2 years, and quickly learned that was not, it just wasn't suitable for my soul. So while I was there, though, I did get into training new hires, and I thought, hey, I'm kind of good at this. Like, this feels kind of good to me. So I wound up leaving my job and moving back. I'm from Plymouth originally, and I moved back to Boston and enrolled at Northeastern to get my master's in education, thinking, well, I really liked working with adults, but I would prefer to work with young children. So I did like a quick 1-year intensive, got my degree, and then I got my first job off my student teaching in Watertown in first grade. And then did 2 years in Watertown, and then my husband is also a teacher. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his life either. We met in college, and he went back to school too to get his degree in education. We kind of did it together. He got a job at ORR teaching English, so I ventured down here too and taught in New Bedford for a few years, also in first grade. And then when my principal, Mrs. Desert, came to Dighton, she said, hey, do you want to come along with me? And I said, absolutely, why not? So I've been here in Dighton in first grade until this year, where I transitioned into the role of a reading interventionist. And that's where I am now.